Hello everybody, this is Dawn, bringing you the Molten Alliance dungeon. It was added April 30th. We are going in with a mostly guild group today, so here we go. This is following Braum and Rox in the final bit of their story for Flame and Frost. It's the only dungeon involved with this story, and it's really neat. It's a true dungeon. You have bosses and a chest at the end. But the nifty thing about this dungeon is that it also has mining nodes, which you can see on the mini-map there. We have an event that's going to come up after these NPCs are done talking. It's just some trash mobs, nothing to really worry about. Just some veterans to take care of. Make sure you kill all the enemies you run across and do everything thoroughly if you can help it, because things are very difficult and it was made in mind for no one to skip anything within these dungeons. There are waypoints in the dungeon as well as a repair NPC that you can use. Just go through here, past the mining drill thing. But you can mine from these nodes. And there's a special azurite crystal that's new with the update. You can use it with some of the new recipes for the Sentinel set, both weapons and armor. You have to get the recipes as drops either in this dungeon or you can buy it off the trading post. There are also new recipes within cooking as well, and they're really nice recipes. I suggest taking a look at it. Right up here, be careful with this champion ember. The champion itself does spawn other embers, so make sure to focus on the champion as much as you can, because the fight will last way too long otherwise. So just keep hitting on the champion as much as you can and taking out the little trash bits of the mob as necessary. But don't make the mistake to ignore the champion, because it will make this fight longer than necessary. With the inscriptions for the weapons, if you'd like to have the weapons crafted, the only way to get the inscriptions is to salvage them off of the drops itself. Right here, we've got walls of steam or air. You can just walk past them if you time it right. If you don't, it'll hit you like that. So you can't dodge through it. Just time yourself well and you'll be fine through this little piece of the dungeon. Coming up right here, we have some nifty mechanics in this first boss battle that are shown again at the end of the dungeon with the bosses there. So be careful of this boss battle up ahead. It's got 4 stages that you have to worry about. The first stage happening not long after you enter in here. You'll be trapped. Nothing to worry about though. You'll take care of it. After stage 1, you'll attack the middle thermocore right there in the center. After each stage except for stage 4, which you'll see in a minute. The first stage is pretty simple. Just lines of flame going across. You can either stand out of its way or dodge when it comes nearby you. They hurt a lot when they do hit you, so avoid them. As you can see, they knock you down, burn you for a bit, and damage you. So it's definitely not worth it to be hit. Thankfully, there are no mobs fighting you while you're going through the traps here, so you just have to survive. After this trap's done, you'll be able to attack right here, thermal core in the middle, and there'll also be 4 veterans that'll spawn. If you get your thermal core down to 3/4 health, the veterans will automatically disappear, so no need to really worry about taking them down unless they're really giving you problems. But once it gets down to 3/4 health, you will no longer be able to attack the thermal core, and stage 2 attacks will start like this. The waves of air, I guess, rippling air, will knock you down if they hit you. A really quick and easy way to avoid being knocked down like that is to literally just jump over the ripple when it comes towards you, or dodge through it. So with timing, you can just jump or dodge and be perfectly fine throughout this trap set, and then once again be able to attack the thermal core. But don't be confused like my group is, wondering where the thermal core is. It'll allow you to attack it after the trap set's over. We had to go into this dungeon blind so that you guys wouldn't have to go through the agony that we did. It's really fun going in blind, in my opinion, at times. We had a blast. Right there, the veteran protector. You want to take him out unless he's not close to the thermal core at all, because he'll have an AoE that makes whatever is within that AoE set will be invulnerable. This second trap set, as you can see, AoE circles will appear, they'll blink, and then the second time they show up, fire will rain down upon you, so you can dodge or walk out of the circles before they actually come down and avoid being damaged at all. Again, it'll damage you and burn you. It's not worth it, so just avoid it. Again, no enemies when this is going on, so as long as you stay alive and don't get damaged, you'll be fine. There are places where the circles aren't that are safe places. Even when it seems like there's only fire everywhere, there is a safe place, I promise. Again, those protectors are a real pain in the butt. Take them out whenever you see them. Take them out first, because it's going to make it really difficult to get anything else done otherwise. And they are affected by their AoE circles and not being damaged. You're going to have to push or pull them out of their circle, or wait for the circle, unfortunately, to not exist. They do time out. There are 2 other mob types that you want to watch out for. There's also gunners, which can do a good amount of damage. They'll jump up and get on top of you. It's almost like they just teleport almost across the room. And they dish out a good amount of damage. So when you see a gunner, take them out unless a protector's nearby. Protectors always, you want to take them out first. Stage 4 is by far the most interesting stage. Once you get it down to 1/4 health. Everything that you had in stage 1, 2, and 3 will happen at once. So you're going to have to dodge and walk and move and survive through all of this mayhem going at once. So I hope that you're good at dodging and moving out of the way. However, unlike 1, 2, and 3, after a certain point, you'll be able to attack the thermal core itself while the traps are still going on. The traps may stop, but the thermal core was able to be attacked before that happened for us. We don't know whether or not that the attacks will stop or if they won't. Don't want to take any chances personally. As soon as you can attack the thermal core and you can actually attack it, I would suggest doing so. As you can see right there, we're able to attack it. Again, no mobs during this part though, with all these traps going on. But once the thermal core is done, the traps will stop, and you'll be able to get to a reward chest after a quick kill of the engineer, which he goes down at the blink of an eye. After that, just some trash mobs, nothing to really worry about. Just speed right on through here. You guys aren't really interested in this probably. Again, you're going to want to worry about protectors, gunners. Almost everything in here is a veteran or annoying. The coolant units you can take out as part of an optional to this part of the event. I don't know what the difference in killing them and not killing them are. We just decided to take them out. There's also a faulty gate. You have to take out the gate to be able to continue. And these mobs spawn and you can continue on. Almost the end. We have some 10 prisoners you have to free. All you have to do really is attack the mobs. And then when there's no mobs around the prisoner, it'll be freed. Right here though, you're going to want the first prisoner to the left. You have to jump over here to this little gondola thing. There's this dead char. Interact with him and take his stuff. Yeah, you're taking his stuff. It's actually some papers that you'll be able to turn in at the Black Citadel if it's the first time you do it. And you can turn that into a NPC for some karma. So if you guys want to grab that, you can. It's crumpled papers. It's account bound. Remember to jump and not walk back, or if you'll see what happens. Get down and get moved back. So make sure you jump. And again, like I said, just follow the line of mobs downward in a spiral. Whenever there's no mobs near a prisoner, they'll be freed and they'll actually walk with you, fight, and help res if they're capable and they're not fighting, which can be really helpful. It's really important in this dungeon, like most dungeons, if someone is defeated, they're not going to be able to use any waypoints until no one's in combat. So you're going to want to get people up when they're downed before they get defeated, because it makes things a lot easier when there's more people working together than just someone sitting there being bored. So try to work together. It's especially so important at the last set of bosses. But there's only 10 of these prisoners. There are gathering nodes throughout this dungeon. But you can do this dungeon over and over again like you can any other. It's just the nodes within it are on a 24-hour timer. Watch out for the steam right here. And then you have our last two bosses. We have two bosses right here. Take out whichever one you find more difficult, if you can. We found Firestorm more difficult. He actually wiped us the first time we tried. The health does reset on the bosses when you are completely wiped. But he'll fly up and evade, and he'll rain fire down upon you. And he's really annoying as a result, so we decided to take him out first. Whichever boss, however, you take out first will then in some ways strengthen the second one, so the second one will be actually harder than it was originally, which is why you want to take out the harder of the two bosses when you're fighting the first time, or else your harder enemy will become even harder. Again, we decided to take out Firestorm. But this Berserker here, he has the effect from before where you can just jump over or else you'll get knocked down. However, he does have the invulnerability effect every once in a while with the fire wheel, and when he jumps down this time, it causes a whole lot more stress and you probably will get down. So be really careful, like I got down. Don't do that. And that's the majority of his. He will also shadow step around, so be careful. It's really, really important, guys, to res people when they get downed or you will wipe very quickly. Even at most of your health, you can get taken out really quickly if you don't dodge or move at the right time with some of his attacks. Do do do. Attacking. All the dungeons will only be in the game until the 12th. However, the dungeons will be moving. I am uncertain of whether or not at this time each dungeon location will actually be a different dungeon or the same one. I'm hoping it's different every time. I would enjoy being able to record multiple dungeons. But after the 12th, it will no longer be possible to do the dungeons or get any of the other Living Story achievements. So if you have any Living Story achievements that you don't have yet for Flame and Frost, I would suggest getting them soon, because at the 12th, they will no longer be available. And he's down. Get the chest. You would think that would be the end, guys, right? No. The bosses are not the end of this dungeon. After the NPCs talk a little bit, and you get whatever you're going to get, recipes and whatnot, you actually have to go over to where Braum is right here, and behind him you'll find some explosives. There are 3 points on the map where you have to plant these explosives. Don't go back down the chest like I'm doing. They're back up. There's only 3 of them. And they're in those locations. You have to walk up. Here's one of the 3 locations here. You just have to jump over to where they are, wherever they are, interact with them, and plant them. After you've planted all the explosives, talk to Braum again, and you're going to have to hightail it out of here. So, run for your life. There will be area effects that'll try to knock you down, burn you, and whatnot. Just go to the elevator looking place right here and wait for timer. And that's all, folks. Accept your reward. And that is the Molten Alliance dungeon. You can exit either through the way on the right with the little door, or you can use the lever right there. Thanks again for watching the video. I'll see you next time.